One of the many things that people love about reality television is the fact that it's escapism, right? It allows you to go into another person's lives for 21 to 43 minutes.
It's interesting because it's either for one or two reasons, right? It's either because they live a fabulous life,
Or their life is like extremely unlucky and it makes you feel better about it, which is awful. Welcome to another Realitea and Coffee.
I'm T. T-E-E, whatever. Semantics.
So we promised y'all that we were going to, of course, bring in the fall with Starbucks fall flavors. And of course, for me, that fall flavor is nothing else than the hashtag PSL, the original. People try to come in and imitate. They don't appreciate how good the OG pumpkin spice latte is. Oh, before I should wet my palate, because I don't know if many people know this. I took a coffee class, which you said was a waste of time.
The one thing I learned is to drink water before.
And one of the things I learned is drink water before you drink your coffee, because you have a clean palate and it allows you to really taste the flavor of the coffee.
All right, use those PSLs and drink some of this water. All right.
Okay, and you got what today?
I got what's this, the Royal English
breakfast tea latte, right?
tea latte. And I actually never think, I think this is the first time I ever had a latte. All right, well,
So,
bottoms up.
cheers.
If you're drinking along with us, comment, let us know what y'all sipping on, what you shipping on.
And if you like the pumpkin spice latte. Okay, so
This is weird.
it tastes weird.
It's weird, it's interesting. It's weird.
I've had it before, so I know it is, because it says,
Well, I got no sugar too.
oh gosh. Why is there another New York shirt on, by the way? You wore this yesterday. This is you wore this the other day. It's getting out of control now.
It's only 2 days.
Doesn't matter.
It's not out of control yet. I think once we get to like 7 days, then you can say it's
You don't
out of
have that
control.
many New York shirts, do you? Thank God.
But I can mix in a couple of other New York reference shirts.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
2 shirts that are references to New York. I'm aware.
One of the many things that people love about reality television is the fact that it's escapism, right? It allows you to go into another person's lives for 21 to 43 minutes.
It's interesting because it's either for one or two reasons, right? It's either because they live a fabulous life,
Or their life is like extremely unlucky and it makes you feel better about it, which is awful. That is really
two
awful.
reasons people watch reality television.
For those who are just joining our channel, Rell and I met working in reality television. He's an editor, I was a producer. We were a team on Cutting It in the ATL on WeTV. And at that point, he had been in the editor's chair, I don't know how long.
When I met you, I was only an editor for like 2 years.
Wow, your skill level
Yeah.
is really exceptional. I mean, you worked
Thank you.
in production much longer.
Yeah,
than that,
I was
but
like 7 years in production.
I have been a television producer, officially with the title of television producer since, I want to say, 03?
Yeah, my longest
But I
running
worked in
credit.
production since 2000.
My longest running credit, of course, is with VH1, the Black Ink Crew franchise. I guess you can consider that one of my biggest credits, show-wise. Oh no, Real Housewives. I'm sorry, my biggest credit was Real Housewives of Atlanta on season 13, I think.
Probably one of my biggest ones too, season 6 and 8.
I mean, American Gangster though. Gangster.
Not necessarily reality. Well, I guess so, some type of, but we'll get into those differences like down the line. One of the segments that we're gonna get into today is Whose Show Is This?
Wow,
The
this is-
World Is Mine. The World Is Mine. That was Nas, right?
How you gonna say whose show is this and you don't even know whose
I
song
thought it
that is?
he wasn't in love with the Whose Show Is This concept because it's kind of our take on Taboo, where he'll have 1 minute based on clues that I'll give him that cannot give away the name of the show. So I told him I would start him off with something a little simple because he was like, oh, don't throw me on to something that I won't know.
Yeah, definitely. Cause I mean, let's just ease me into it.
I thought I would start with a staple from your former employer, Paramount.
Oh well, you give me a lot of hints now.
Okay, so this series ran on VH1 from 2006 to 2008.
2 years. Oh man.
It was a courtship show. Now timer has officially started. So Here are some clues. Hoops, Liz, Hunkin, rap duo, William Jonathan Drayton Jr. 6 Grammy-nominated group also inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This was a celeb reality series. 2 other names of cast members were Toasty and Boots.
Crap. 6. I mean, my guess is Charm School.
Well, you're close, because it is the same
Franchise.
right
So I'm
franchise.
getting close. 51 Minds obviously produced it.
Yes.
Oh.
Rell failed on his first one.
Comment if you know
comment
the
if you know the answer. If
to
any of those.
If you could if you're better than Terrell, comment please. What? Crap! Oh man. That was a good one. I'll give you that. You stumped me.
Thank you, honey. So, reality has all these cool catchphrases. It has always influenced pop culture. And so our next segment goes with our reality and coffee theme, spilling the tea. It's backwards, but. Okay, so we're gonna spill tea today.
Terrell never spills. Ah.
Oh,
me drink some
gosh, awful. Some people chart reality television to being 30 years ago. But actually, people say because there's so many different genres of reality television, if you really were going to say what the first reality show actually was, is a lot of people say happened in 1948 with Candid Camera.
Oh, God.
And of course, we still remember Candid Camera when we were kids. Now, we weren't, of course, born in the 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever.
Well, I wasn't.
Neither was I. For those 3 decades.
You are a little bit older than me. Just a little bit.
You're the worst. So anyway, that's actually considered one of the first reality shows. But the first docu-reality series that people say was the first was An American Family, which was in 1973.
Okay.
It had 12 episodes airing on CBS, documenting an upper middle class family named the Louds. They were also the subject of a 2011 film on HBO entitled Cinema Verite. It starred the late, great James Gandolfini and Diane Lane.
Get out of here!
Yeah, and it was directed by Sherry Springer Berman and Robert Polsini. Now, this series ran from January 11th, 1973 to March 29th, 1973. It actually was supposed to be following the family, their upper middle class family in Santa Barbara, California, which is absolutely gorgeous, Santa Barbara is. And it, unfortunately, biggest drama of the show and the biggest draw was the separation and divorce of the parents, Bill and Pat Loud, which, played out on the show. So reality has always had its time-honored tradition of ruining relationships. You're trying to figure out a way out of your relationship or marriage without having a conversation. Reality television will help you.
I mean, your relationship started.
Oh my gosh, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that are actually the stars.
Okay, well, I was a star, so still shining on these.
So this show was actually considered the first intimate, I can't even. First intimate, I couldn't even respond to it. I realized I didn't respond to it, and I was like, I can't even. It was actually supposed to be the first intimate and accurate portrayal of a regular American family. It was something that no one else had seen on TV before and changed some people's unconscious bias towards the LGBTQIA community because the oldest son of the Louds, Lance, was possibly the first openly gay person on TV.
Oh, that's dope.
And he became a celebrity and icon in the gay community. Actually, entertainment is actually celebrating what they consider 30 years of reality television. Because a lot of people especially our age groups, consider the first reality television, or what really changed norms in general, pop culture norms, was The Real World in 1992 on MTV. The reason I say that a lot of people attribute it to breaking a lot of changing norms, I guess you could say norms of ignorance, things that people just didn't know or understand because they weren't educating themselves. A lot of people learned that through The Real World, through the audience. And a lot of critics thought, this is a dull, boring show, a house reality show, which is another style of show where you put people in an environment. Big Brother is another form of that, where you put people in a home environment together for X amount of weeks, months, and basically surveil them for about 24 hours.
You know, I'm sorry. I was thinking about Dave Chappelle's Real.
No, when I was
When
writing,
gets real.
I was thinking about that too. I actually wanted to watch it after we finished this because it made me think of it, and I was like laughing writing out the card.
Yeah, I know.
Because it was like people were like
I hate Dave Chappelle.
and Charlie Murphy.
Yeah.
Like, the way they was all angry and oh my gosh. So if you have not watched the Dave Chappelle version of The Real World, it is worth it's weight in gold. So this dealt with real world issues such as religion, prejudice, sexuality, AIDS, death, politics, substance abuse, and more. So I thought that was kind of cool and spilling the tea.
You know what's funny? And full transparency, like, because I mentioned Karamo before, and I was very ignorant, you know, when I was younger, you know, when the show came on, and not ignorant in a way where like I was homophobic, but I just didn't know that gay men come in different shapes, sizes, shades, and colors, you know what I mean? So I was very closed-minded. So seeing him on a show wearing Timbs and, you know, fly, look like a New York cat, and come to find out that he was a gay man, my mind was like blown. I was like, oh, they like, you know, like, everybody isn't a monolith, you know what I mean? It's not what the media portrays.
Right, how it's, because that's something that you and I gripe about all the time in terms of how the LGBTQIA plus community is portrayed in series where it's sometimes kind of obvious they may not have a writer from the community in the writer's room, particularly if they're characters of color.
Yeah.
And they're from the LGBTQIA plus community, is almost like they're caricatures, you know, who are lesbian, gay, trans, you know, and bisexual, or, you know, non-binary, queer. It is interesting to see how you have real examples, like you said, on The Real World. In a Karamo, you can take sources from those characters and see that they're just people and they fall in love just like everybody else.
Yeah,
and
man.
I think but we come from a community in terms of the Black community is still having a very difficult time really understanding that if you are a person of spirituality, that you should know that whomever or, you know, whatever being you believe in would love everybody.
Absolutely.
At least they should, right? You know, so I think that that's something that has been good about reality television is it's put things that make ignorance uncomfortable.
Yeah,
you know, and try to educate them.
When I was working for a reality show called The Agency, I was working down in Chelsea. Like, if everybody knows that, it's in New York. You know, working there was kind of a culture shock for me, right? So I go there, and so I walk past this bar. I was like, oh man, this bar looks kind of cool. And I was like, you know, it was a bunch of dudes online. I was like, man, this looks like a sports bar. I should hop in there, grab a drink, watch a game. I was like, man, all these dudes are very close.
Those who know New Yorkers, they like their space, but there's not a lot of it.
Very close. And then as I took a closer look to the line, I was like, oh, they're very intimate. Man, these guys really take bromance to the next level. And, you know, obviously, as my mind started to figure it out, I was like, oh, this is a gay bar. Now, and then, you know, I didn't go in. But looking back, you know what? I should have went in.
Yeah.
I should have went in because it's just by experiences. They watch sports just like I watch sports.
It's funny, by now doing segments for this show, I was like, you know, we actually are a part of something that does force conversations that need to be had.
That's true.
So when you and I did get into it, it's so different from what it is today. There were so many positives about it when we got into it, and that was one of the things that we were documentarians. And that was one of the things that was so cool about it from the beginning. And so it's sad because you do, you know, have the people that want to be fed the trashy reality. Another thing you have to remember is that everybody you see on screen is a person too. And I think that sometimes it was always hard for me, especially if I was on location with cast. I didn't want to, you know, manipulate story if it wasn't there. I wanted it to always be natural because we're people. There's going to be a lot of stuff that set us off naturally. You do not have to manufacture anything. So the more I pushed, you know, wanting the cast to be their authentic selves and be as natural as possible, I felt like the better content, at least I received than anything I produced. So our last and final segment for the day is entitled In Post. I might have to do these cards over. We're just having a little fun here. Well, in post is a production term that we use in reality, and it refers to after a show is filmed and it's currently in the editorial process, preparing it for air, that we technically say, oh, it's in post. You know, we don't always always say post-production. I know when you go on and try to find out when something's being released or what the progress is of a film on IMDb or Wiki or whatever, it says post-production, but we typically say in post. People ask maybe what facet of the production you're a part of, and you can say, oh, I was production and in post, or I'm in post.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do a twist on this. And it's not necessarily what's in edit currently, but it's kind of people that started on reality television, I guess almost like our version of before they were stars, and took what was a jumping board for their career. Typically I'm correcting you. That was good. Okay, you're the worst.
It's easy just to sit here and correct people. That's what you do to me. That's why you usually correct me.
Sorry, honey.
It's all good.
A springboard for their career, and they're now a success. So I'm gonna see if you can guess this person.
I bet.
Today's star started on a Fox reality singing competition, American Juniors. She went on to actually form a music group with the same name, but they disbanded. And then she went on to a minor role on Nick's Drake and Josh, and guest roles on The OC and How I Met Your Mother, before heading to the big screen in The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants 2 in 2008. But her most famous role was one of the famous four on the hit freeform teen mystery drama, Pretty Little Liars.
Lucy Hale?
Very good!
Balls.
What gave it away?
She's the only one that had prior acting experience. To that extent.
Yes.
Because you drilled that in my head. You were like, no, she was acting and she was the biggest name coming to the show. So I was like, all right, give it all the credits. That would probably be the easiest guess. Like,
'cause I thought if
and
I
the
said-
singing too.
Because we know she sings and she put out
The
an
singing
album.
too. Lucy
She's
Hale,
very
shout
good.
out.
Lucy Hale, shout out.
So she started on a reality show?
Yeah, a reality singing show.
Wow. That one I did not know. That of all the information, I did not know that.
So it's our version of before they were stars. So tune in to the next episode to see who was a reality star before they were a star in another form of entertainment.
All right, till next time. We done?
Yeah, this has been fun. Have you had a good time today?
It was a great time. And I had a latte tea for the first time.
We're gonna try something new. We're very proud. I of course had my classic PSL, pumpkin spice latte. It's fall. It's officially fall when that PSL #PSL hits the
Back of your throat?
coffee bar.
Oh. Anyway, we out.